The speed for which this UK Online Safety Act is affecting the internet, not just within the confines of the United Kingdom itself, but making wide-sweeping changes around the world, is even shocking to me. We have seen censorship, especially during the time that I've been doing videos on the topic, with everything really coming to a head in 2020, where everyone, regardless of what you were talking about, you were walking on eggshells. I remember when the coup first started, where you couldn't even say COVID-19 without your videos getting taken down. YouTube's institution of the three-strike policy, which I ended up running afoul of, getting 2 strikes on multiple occasions, and then amassing 15 different strikes for something as banal as simply saying, oh wow, look at those mask mandates, really looked like it was a sweeping success, huh? But yes, wading through those censorious waters for the better part of 3 years. Everything really only getting lifted, I would say, in the tail end of 2022. But now, in just a couple of weeks since the introduction of this law, signing it into law, we have just about every single social media or entertainment platform that predominantly operates online instituting some form of digital age verification systems, or at least setting the groundwork to implement them. YouTube specifically, I'm thinking about, what is it, next week or within the next 10 days? I'm certain about that. I think it's the 13th or the 15th it goes into place. We'll see how the hell that works. But yes, Spotify, Reddit, Facebook, all of Meta's properties, all of those, they're getting hit with different age verifications, and they're also, governments, UK governments, and I think it's even Google themselves, going above and beyond, making sure that VPNs are even getting banned from use while accessing certain websites. It's a very scary situation to find ourselves in right now. And well, the clampdown isn't stopping anytime soon, because as much as people are outraged, and they are in fact fighting back, the stiff upper lip of governments and the censors out there is staggering. So the UK's Online Safety Act censors the internet, a preview of US proposals. And you might think that this is being hyperbolic, but we got our first idiot that's out there, Representative Mary Miller, a good old Republican, of course. But yeah, children should never have access to adult content online. This is something everyone should agree on. Yet many sites refuse to enforce strong age verification. You know who else should be enforcing these strong age verifications? Oh right, that would be the parents. But no, we can never hold single mothers responsible. We can never make absentee parents do their goddamn job. No. We just have to bubble wrap the world. Fucking pathetic. It is time to pass the Screen Act and protect our most innocent. Fuck off. Yeah, this post implies, and thank God for community notes. This post implies that there are not currently possible ways to restrict children's access to the internet. Parental controls are easy and available on almost any digital environment. It's the duty of the parents to apply them. Fucking based. That's probably my favorite community note, because it's simple, it's direct, and it's straight to the point. And yeah, posts like this that just go to show you that the Republicans, they aren't your friends, and also repeal the 19th. But yes, as Chibi Reviews points out, man, this is the exact way that they push all of this stuff. Won't somebody please think of the children? But going back to, yes, what is trying to be pushed on the UK side of things, it's absolutely insane. Okay, so UK's Office of Communications, Ofcom, okay, their FCC equivalent, their communications and enforcement body there within equivalent, okay, just to catch everybody up to speed on that, explains in detail which each category of prohibited content includes, what they're looking to age gate, I guess, under the OSA, okay, Online Safety Act. Minors must be prohibited from accessing content which depicts real or realistic serious violence against the person. It also includes content which is abusive and which targets any of the following characteristics: race, religion, sex, sexual orientation, disability, or gender reassignment. Fantastic. It also includes content which realistically depicts serious violence against a fictional creature. What? Such a definition would not only prohibit minors from accessing historical and newsworthy content about wars, but many episodes of SpongeBob if they're posted to social media, including but not limited to no weenies allowed. This is not an exhaustive list of prohibited content either. Yeah, exactly. The OSA, in fact, X has age-restricted a post by a Conservative member of Parliament about the concerns with the government in not investigating instances of rape. The users cannot view that post in the United Kingdom until they verify that they are at least 18. Oh, fantastic stuff, putting out a post to make people aware that, hey, there's predators out there, but instead of informing the potential targets of said individual, they're just making sure that they don't get offended by the announcement of that news. It's such a wonderful world that we live in. Users cannot view the post in the United Kingdom, until they verify that they're at least 18. However, they are free to read about it in the news websites without verifying their age. Oh, interesting. It's almost like instead of, because I've been theorizing this, and if you guys been following me for long enough, you probably heard me talk about this as well. Here I'm thinking that, the old access media sites, okay? The legacy media outlets, all of those, your cable news networks, your old industry rags, all of that type of stuff. You would think that, once they shrivel up and die, they would eventually glom onto new media and then just corrupt it from within, send over all of their emissaries over there, get lucrative deals over there, and push out any dissenting and smaller non-corporate voices. But instead, no, we're just going to go ahead and be blatant about our preferential treatment to those old establishments, because that's just much easier to do. Hell, if we're just blatant with our censorship and our corruption, what are you going to do about it? Nothing. Other age-restricted posts on X include videos of police using force against people protesting asylum seekers. Reddit has also age-gated UK access to forums about menstruation. What? Efforts to stop smoking and drinking, and forums about SA. One Discord user reported being forced to input their age due to an inane post about their own age. Even Spotify is requiring age verification and will delete accounts that don't comply. That is all of that shit is wild, okay? I can't even put one more prominently over the other, but yeah, there are several petitions that I've seen right now. The one that we've talked about previously about the repealing the OSA. I think that got up to at one point in time 800,000, maybe even higher than that signatures. But yeah, the government was quick to respond to that, saying, yeah, we ain't repealing shit, so better luck next time. And then I just recently seen another petition go up asking for an immediate election. I'd imagine that's going to be met with the same haha, we got your votes now and you're stuck with us for the next 4 years response. So where do we go from here? What else is going to be on the chopping block for something as simple as SpongeBob clips on social media? Fictional violence against fictional creatures. That's what we need to protect our children against. Everything that you and I grew up with. Theoretically, if this was enforced at the time that I was growing up, I wouldn't have been able to watch Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Power Rangers, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, anything. Literally anything. I'd imagine they'd probably make specific loopholes from something like adolescence to tell you that, white kids bad. Or white boys bad. Let's get a little bit more specific on that one. Because if you think all of these immutable characteristics are equally protected, I mean, how long have you had your head in the sand for? But like has been pointed out several times before, this isn't just stopping within the confines of the UK. This is having wide-ranging effects that could end up including censoring GTA 6 when that comes around. And oh boy, it wasn't that long ago. It has been within the past month that we talked about the spectacular sales expectations for GTA 6 within the first couple of months, and they look absolutely wild. And I said at the time that, yeah, unless there's something that catastrophic comes in to disrupt the distribution of this, or they completely fumble the bag in some unforeseen way, there's no way that they don't hit those milestones at some point in time. This could end up being one of those things, because the rapidly escalating controversy shaking the digital gaming landscape, payment processors like Visa, Mastercard, PayPal, and Stripe are exerting immense pressures on video game platforms to delist adult-oriented games. Yes, fictional violence against fictional things. What began as a targeted removal of explicit titles on storefronts like Steam and Itch has now spilled over to smaller, retro-focused sites like such as Zoom platform. Really, alarmingly, this purge is raising fears that even mainstream action games, long criticized for violence, sexual themes, and mature content, could be next on the chopping block. Titles like Grand Theft Auto, which, as we've talked about before when it comes to censorship, Collective Shout, they successfully, down in Australia where they are based, got GTA 5 temporarily removed from Target. Let that sink in for a second. Duke Nukem and Saints Row have also been explicitly flagged as at risk. But yeah, let's also take a look at this as well, because yeah, GTA 6 could be running afoul, but that's a new release subject to new laws. But what about your old titles? Because is there a new Duke Nukem game on the horizon? Not that I'm aware of. Saints Row, that is very much a dead franchise, especially after that abhorrent 5th release, the soft reboot for the franchise that would have definitely appealed to the people that the Online Safety Act appeals to, but Are we talking about scrubbing the internet of these potentially dangerous games? It's so funny, right? How Jack Thompson, all the way back in the early 2000s, was banging the drum about how, Mortal Kombat and Grand Theft Auto, they're going to end up corrupting the kids. Won't somebody please think of the children? When you had a white guy screaming from the rooftops, nobody was paying attention. But when you have a bunch of fat woke feminists, so funny how they decide to quickly take up the call. Just a strange thing I'm noticing here. Okay, the development signals, yes, a potential slippery slope towards wider censorship, where artistic freedom in gaming hangs in the balance. Well, as wide-ranging as the censorship has become, I don't even know if it's about artistic freedom. It's more or less government-mandated fun. That's all you're going to be allowed to experience, and this isn't really even being hyperbolic. As of August 2025, a campaign spearheaded by Australian advocacy group Collective Shout has gained traction, forcing platforms to navigate a minefield of compliance demands while trying to preserve user access to diverse content. With over 17,000 games reportedly affected on itch alone, the industry is grappling with what many sees as an overreach that could redefine what's acceptable in video games. So yeah, man, without going over all of the history of Collective Shout and what has been going on, because I've got a fair few videos depicting how quickly this has spread like the shadow of Mordor towards Minas Tirith. We are in for some crazy times, because just when you thought, especially last year with exposing Sweet Baby Inc. and its different diversity consultation studios, it really looked like gaming was getting back on the right foot. Hell, even Hollywood at this point in time, it's not like the quality of the product that they're putting out there is getting any better. It's not like they magically found any quality writers that were out there, but things were getting less overtly political. We can just go ahead and agree on that. Shit still sucks, but it's not woke. But now we very much have a new fight on our hands, and one that everybody is getting behind. It's just, how is it going to be resolved? I have no idea, but the only way that we make an impact is by sustained pressure. I'm not giving up the fight on this one. I really hope you aren't either. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.